Hey there, fantasy football fans. Amadeo here with Fantasy Alpha, the free fantasy football app for all your best fantasy football insights to help you win your league. It's free in the App Store and on Google Play. Now, today's video is called Alpha's Bold Predictions. These are Fantasy Alpha's unique outlooks for the 2019 season. In other words, bold predictions. So let's get right to them. Our first bold prediction is that quarterback Jameis Winston of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will finish top 5 in passing yards in 2019. And here's why. Mike Evans' career yards per catch is 15.5. Chris Godwin's career yards per catch is 14.7. O.J. Howard's career yards per catch is 16.6. And Brashad Perriman's career yards per catch is 15.5. Now, to put that in perspective for you, the wide receiver average in yards per catch in 2018 was 12.7. So Winston is thrown to 4 guys who eat up a lot of yards. In his last 23 games, Winston has thrown over 300 yards in 11 of them, almost half of the last 23 games he's played. So he has proved he can put up the numbers. And with Bruce Arians running the show in Tampa Bay, that's going to be a 60-40 passing offense. And their defense is not good enough to keep them in games, so they're going to have to pass the ball a lot. So Fantasy Alpha predicts that Jameis Winston will finish top 5 in passing yards this year. Now, that might come with 20 turnovers, but we think he's going to throw for a lot of yards. Our next bold prediction is that running back Leonard Fournette of the Jacksonville Jaguars will lead the league in carries in 2019. And here's why. In 2017, in his rookie season, he had 268 carries in 13 games. He averaged 20.5 carries a game. Now, last year, he had a little bit more of an injury-riddled season, but he still averaged over 16 carries a game, and he got hurt in one of those games. And there is no real competition behind him in this backfield. Alfred Blue, 5th-round rookie Armstead. Leonard Fournette is going to dominate this backfield, and if he stays healthy, Fantasy Alpha predicts he will lead the league in carries this year. Our next bold prediction is that running back Devontae Freeman of the Atlanta Falcons will score 10-plus touchdowns in 2019. And here's why. There is no more Tevin Coleman in Atlanta, vulturing goal line carries away from Freeman. In 2015, Freeman had 14 total touchdowns. In 2016, Freeman had 13 total touchdowns. In 2017, when he started mixing in with Coleman a little bit more, he still scored 9 touchdowns in 14 games, and last year he had a little bit of an injury-riddled season. Well, Atlanta invested a lot in their offensive line, and Matt Ryan is playing some of the best football of his career. A lot of projection sheets I'm looking at this year have Freeman scoring 8 or 9 total touchdowns. Well, Fantasy Alpha likes him 30% more than everybody else, and we think he's easily going to get over 10 touchdowns, score about 11, 12, or 13. Our next bold prediction is that wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster of the Pittsburgh Steelers will lead the league in targets in 2019. And here's why. Antonio Brown leaves Pittsburgh, and he takes 168 targets with him. And last year, Juju caught 111 balls off 166 targets. He was top 5 in targets last year. Now we're going to move him from the top 5 to number 1. And it's his 3rd year with Ben. That chemistry is brewed. So we think Juju Smith-Schuster will lead the league in targets this year. Our next bold prediction is that tight end O.J. Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get over 900 receiving yards in 2019. And here's why. Deshaun Jackson and Adam Humphries have left the building, and they take 179 targets with them. And last year, O.J. Howard had 565 receiving yards in 9.5 games. If he'd have played the other 6.5 games, he would have got over 900 receiving yards. And his career yards per catch is 16.6, and he has a 69% catch rate, so it is worth throwing the ball to O.J. Howard. And with Bruce Arians running the show in Tampa Bay, that's going to be a 60-40 passing offense. I said that earlier in the video. And their defense is ranked in the bottom tier, so Tampa Bay is going to have to pass the ball a lot. So don't sleep O.J. Howard at tight end this year. He might even get over 1,000 yards. Our next bold prediction is that veteran pass-catching running back Giovanni Bernard of the Cincinnati Bengals will be very relevant in 2019, and here's why. A.J. Green is hurt the first few games of the year, so there's going to be a lot more targets to go around, and it's Dalton and Bernard's 7th season playing with each other. There's a lot of chemistry there, and it's just him and Joe Mixon in this backfield. The 2 rookie running backs the Bengals drafted are currently hurt, and Bernard is in a contract here. He is incentivized to play his best football yet, and Cincy's defense ranks in the bottom tier, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot, and they have a lot of injuries on the offensive line right now, so it might be a struggle to run the ball. So they're going to turn to the pass-catching back a lot this year. Now, I'm not saying he's going to finish top 20 in running backs, but he will have a stable role in this offense as the pass-catching back. So Giovanni Bernard will be very relevant in 2019, especially early when A.J. Green is out. And our last bold prediction is that quarterback Tom Brady of the New England Patriots can still win you your league this year, and here's why. He's coming off a Super Bowl run where he threw for 343, 348, and 262 on his way to his 6th Super Bowl victory. New England drafted N'Keal Harry in the first round. Josh Gordon's reinstated. It's his 7th season with Edelman, 6th season with James White, 3rd season with Dorsett. There's even rumblings that Gronkowski might even come back midway through. He was 2017 MVP where he threw for over 4,500 yards and 32 touchdowns. Last year, he still threw for over 4,300 yards and 29 touchdowns, and he rushed in another 2 touchdowns. Don't sleep Tom Brady this year. He still can be a top 10 fantasy quarterback who can win you your league. Well, that's it for Alpha's Bold Predictions. Join us for our next video, Backfield Breakdowns, dropping right here on the Fantasy Alpha YouTube channel. And be sure to subscribe below. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Fantasy Alphas for all your latest fantasy football updates and insights. And download the Fantasy Alpha app. It's free in the App Store and on Google Play. Until next time, I'm Amadeo with Fantasy Alpha.